All right, so glad to have you back for another podcast episode, whether you're watching it on YouTube or you're listening to it on Spotify or Stitcher or Google or wherever it may be. Glad to have you here for another episode. So let's get straight into the 3 things to avoid when you're starting your detailing business. Now, this can really be applied at any point. Don't just think like, hey, like I've already been in business for 2 years. This isn't applicable to me. It still might be. So I definitely urge you to listen through the entire episode. You might still be able to pick up some nuggets that you can implement into your business and to your daily routine of operations of whatever you're doing. So let's dive in with number 1. These aren't in any specific order in terms of number 1 is more important. I just kind of laid them out as they came to mind. So number 1 would be don't spend most of your time being a detailer. I know it's a weird concept to grasp because you're starting a detailing business because you want to offer detailing services, right? And you want to be paid as a detailer. But here's a few things you have to keep in mind, okay? Is 1, don't replicate what other detailers are doing on YouTube. What do I mean by that? Well, I'm more certain than not that a lot of your inspiration and motivation comes from seeing other detailers on YouTube, right? You're watching some satisfying cleaning, some foaming, some polishing, perhaps working on high-end vehicles, perhaps doing some like disgusting, dirty interiors on YouTube, right? Now, the thing you have to keep in mind, though, is that what you see on YouTube is not necessarily how it translates to detailing as a business. Okay, so, and there's nothing wrong with this. I did the exact same thing. You just have to be aware of what's going on to where what you see on YouTube is they're doing it for the camera, right? They're making sure that it's going to be satisfying or more entertaining or more educational or whatever other goal they have or objective they have with the video. It's meant not to show like how exactly they move when they're detailing a customer's vehicle. If you're watching an interior cleaning video, like one of those like satisfying, disgusting transformation videos, more often than not, they are slowing down the process. They're making sure they're getting different shots from different angles to make it more pleasing, appealing, satisfying for the viewer. So if you're seeing someone on YouTube that's going real slow with the agitation, that's making the suds come, really show on the surfaces. They're extracting very slow, so you can really see all that gunk come out. Okay, that's YouTube detailing. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. I did the exact same thing with my videos. If you go on Detail Groove, if you go a while back, you'll see that. Well, you can't really tell, but I am, I guess, admitting that not admitting, I'm just letting you know what I was doing, that, I slowed down the process, right? I made sure that I focused in on the extraction. I made sure that, you could really see the before and afters. And again, because that's what the viewers wanted, right? In the comment section, they're like, ooh, I really like it when you the vacuuming, the extracting, the agitation, do this, do that, do this. And I would just, I would be making my videos to appeal towards the audience. So it's the same thing with you. If you're watching someone and they're using whatever machine, whatever product, whatever tool, and they're making it very satisfying, they're making it, very entertaining, that's not what's going to translate to detailing in the real world. And once that happens, like it's a pretty big disconnect between what you see on YouTube and what you're supposed to do on when you're working in your business. And if you carry over that same mentality between what you see on YouTube and that's thinking what you should do, and you go replicate that, you're going to take way longer than expected. You're not going to make as much money. Yes, you're probably going to get, I wouldn't say better results, but you will get the results that you're looking for, but you can get the exact same results, just not going as slow, just not making it as fancy. I've mentioned this in other videos where when we're working in our business, we're not doing things super fancy. We're not there to over romanticize the services that we're doing, right? We are technicians, right? I would prefer that you don't look at yourself as a detailer, right? Because that's what gets you in the weeds of you over romanticize things and you really want to, do things very crafty and very specialist. You're a technician at the end of the day, right? Not that that's wrong. Not that, I urge you to think any other way, but it does help to put you in that mindset of hey, I am here to work. Yeah, yes, I can enjoy the work. Yes, I like the work. Yes, I'm passionate about the work. But, if you're focused on building a business, you can't have being a detailer the forefront thought of the entire process, because it'll eat away into not just your profits, but just how you think about your business as a whole, right? I mean, it is I see it time and time again. Other detailers are trying to replicate what they see on YouTube, and you can just clearly tell that there's a huge disconnect, right? On YouTube, they're doing it for the audience, for the views, to show a process, whatever the case may be. And it's just not going to work as well when you're doing it in your actual business. So just be cautious that you're not, doing exactly what you're seeing on YouTube, because it might not be working out in your favor. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't learn from videos. Of course you can. It's just what you see there, you have to be able to mold it to fit to your business and your operations to make sure you're able to do things how you're supposed to be doing it. Another point here is if you look at, and I have all my notes here in Evernote. That's why I keep on looking at my phone. If you look at the and we're still on the same point of you can't be too much of a detailer, is you have to focus in, I mean, not focus in, but if you look at the landscape of your detailing business, right? And you look at what things you should be doing in order to grow your business, on that list, being a detailer is only but a small fraction of the overall picture, right? Going into your detailing business, you can't have don't have the mindset of the number one thing that's going to help me get more customers, or that's going to help me make more money, or that's going to help me be more successful is being the best detailer, the best detailer in my area. Okay, like, again, you're starting a detailing business because you want to offer detailing services. I get it. But in the overall grand picture of things, being the best detailer in your area, or trying to get yourself from a level 7 to a level 8, will only yield you marginal results. Meaning, if you're, and again, I'm talking very, very generic here, right? Don't try to paint me into a box of like, well, Oscar specifically said no. I'm speaking very, very generic here, okay? But if you're, let's say, a level 6 detailer, right, a little bit above average, even if you jump up to a level 8 detailer, right, whatever that may mean, the results that you get from that in terms of the customers is insignificant. Meaning, if you go from a level 6 to a level 8 as far as skills in with your detailing skills, the customer doesn't see much of a difference, right? So you're gonna spend all this extra time and energy trying to get better and improving on your skills. And although, yes, as a detailer on the detailing side of things, yes, you do improve. Like, you can see an actual difference, which is great, right? Nothing, but I just want to clarify that on the customer end side of things, if you can get that small extra bit of stain out, if you can polish out just a little bit more of the swirls and scratches, if you can, if you can do just a little bit more, to you, it's like, oh, I was able to get, I was able to knock down that stain from, I don't know, from 60% to 30%, right? You're able to knock off a few extra, those extra swirls or scratches on the paint. To you, that's a big thing because you're the one that's passionate. You're the detailer. You're the one hyper-focused on what you're doing. But to the customer, they're going to be like, oh, I honestly couldn't tell a difference. Like, oh, thanks, but, it looked good, 40 minutes ago. All this extra work that you did, like, it looks about the same. It looks good. Thank you. So, and we see that all the time. We'll take those extra steps, right? Because we can. It's within our budget. Like, that's why we charge what we charge. And we'll go those extra steps. We'll spend a little bit more time. We'll get just a bit better results, right? And, the customers come out and they're like, wow, it looks amazing. And we go through that extra time, right? And they come out again and they're like, wow, it looks amazing. Like, there is no difference in their mind because they don't have the eyes that you have, right? You are, pretty much trained to see what 99% of other people won't see. So you trying to really be the best and going after every single little whatever it may be will only yield you marginal results, which is why, again, I don't want you to just focus on being a detailer because that will only get you so far. Me just being, that doesn't mean you can't be, that you have to be it doesn't mean you can be a crappy detailer. Of course not. Like, you have to know what you're doing. But I'm saying there's a specific threshold that you have to meet, that once you get to that threshold, once you go beyond that, not much changes in the results that you get and the difference for the customer. Okay, and last point here is when you're starting off, right, budget in your calendar when you're going to be detailing and when you're going to work on your business, okay? And when I say budget in when you're going to detail, I'm assuming that, like, you want to go and train, you want to go and practice to hone in on your own skills, right? So instead of just saying, okay, hey, look, it's 5 p.m. after work, I'm just going to go to the garage and detail so I can get better. Instead of saying that, right, which is fine, right? You want to improve on your skills. Absolutely fine. but set allocate a budget of time to just focus on detailing, and allocate a specific set of time to focus on the business. So, if it's 5 p.m., you're back from work, right? And you're like, oh, hey, I'm gonna spend the next 3 hours in the garage. Okay. That's the bad way to do it, right? Where you just like kind of going, like kind of wander around and like, hey, how many hours can I spend here? Or let me just spend the rest of the night here. No, instead you just say, hey, from 6 to 7, I'm going to detail. Whatever you're doing, go to that. But you have 6 to 7 to detail. And from 8 to 9, you're going to work on the business. Work in that type of routine. Because if you're just always just, hey, I'm going to go out. Hey, I'm going to go practice. Hey, I'm going to go practice. Hey, I'm going to go practice. Like, yes, you are getting better. But at the end of the day, detailing does not move the business forward. What moves the business forward is working on the business side of things. If I were to completely disregard all the business side of things, which is like everything that has to be done on the laptop, and Lex and I would just focus on detailing, I mean, our business would not move forward, right? If him and I both went to go get paint correction, sanding, and coating application training, if we both went to go get, IIRC certified to do interior cleanings, right? If we all just focus on that, and that is exactly what we did 100% of the time, the business will only move forward this much. And if you're just listening to the podcast, like, I have my fingers up saying like there's only a marginal space of growth that you have. So don't just, go into the garage and like, hey, like I want to be the best detailer. Let me just watch a bunch of YouTube videos and, correct paint for the rest of the night. No, growing your business is focusing on the business, not on the detailing side of things. So allocate, basically you're budgeting your time with your detail operations. Some time on detailing, some time on business. Now, when you're first starting, I'll give you that you need the confidence to, offer the services. So if you're just getting started, then it does make sense to put a bit more time on the detailing side of things so you can, be somewhat confident with your services. Now, you're never going to be 100% confident, right? Don't think like, hey, like I want to keep on practicing because I really want to be confident before I go offer services. Regardless of the fact, even if you go get trained, you're still not going to be confident. You're still going to feel like you can do a little bit more to get better before you offer services. So know that no matter how much training you do, you'll never feel like you're confident to go and charge money for your services. All right, just keep that in mind. But allocate a specific set of time. If you're just getting started, you'll probably want to lean a bit more to the detailing side of things. And, just generally speaking here, as you get better, start moving that time from detailing to the business side of things. So I'm not going to give any specific numbers because every single person that's watching this video or listening to this podcast will have a different lifestyle. But let's say that within the given time that you have, you give 60% to detailing, 40% to business. As time goes on, and you improve, whatever that may mean for you, you go 50-50. Right? 50 business, 50 detailing. And then as you get better, you go 60-40, 60 business, 40 detailing. And as you're like, okay, you've gotten a few customers, you've kind of have a better understanding of what you're doing, you go 70-30 and you start, 70% on business and 30% on detailing. And you keep on, going that to where you're 80-20, where 80% of your time is on the business and 20% of your time is on detailing. Because once to a certain point, you no longer have to focus on detailing in terms of like, how do I clean leather? How do I clean wheels? How do I correct paint? Then after that, it gets to how do I clean wheels faster? How do I finish this faster? Which is different, right? You're not just looking at, how can I clean wheels, but how can I clean wheels more efficiently to where I can knock down from 10 minutes to 8 minutes to, how can I vacuum from, 30 minutes to 20 minutes? So it's a shift you have to make at some point, right? But first you have to learn, then you have to get efficient at it. So those are two different things that can still fit within that 20% margin of time that you have once you've gotten the handle of the skill set part of things with your detailing. So, wow, that's a long first point there. Let's continue. Where are we at here? Number 2 is don't base your worth and value in the tools and products you use. And I know this is a big one because everyone wants what? Everyone wants the nice tools, the big brands, the ones that, only the professionals use. And, what's the point that I have here? So customers don't care about what you use. They care about the results that you deliver. So, I've mentioned this in a recent podcast or in a recent YouTube video where like if your brakes are gone, if you need your engine repaired or transmission repaired, right? You're not asking the mechanic, hey, do you have, the latest snap-on wrench? Of course not. Whether it's a Husky or a snap-on or whatever the case may be, you just want your car running again, right? And the same thing with you. Customers aren't looking at you saying, hey, do you have the Rupes Mark III? Oh, you have the Grits Garage the Grits Garage 6-inch polisher, the first version. Ooh, I don't think I want to use it as a detailer. That's not happening. That conversation is not happening with your detailer, with your customers. It's simply not. So if you're looking at, whether it's on the forums or Facebook groups or, detailers on YouTube, and you're like, oh, well, they're using the Rupes, the Grits, the Adams, the whatever, like I want to save up to get that one. No, because once you acquire that tool, that whatever brand it is, nothing changes, right? If you have a $150 polisher versus a $450 polisher, is there a difference in quality? Of course, to a degree, right? There are going to be differences. Does it make an impact on your business? Are you, more of a professional because you now have this better, quote unquote, better tool and product? No, not at all, right? Whether you're using a $5 tire dressing, a $15 tire dressing, you're still dressing tires, right? It's still going to degrade over a few days or a few weeks. So yes, there's differences between brands, right? I'm not, there's no argument there, but the impact that it has on your business is so marginal in the beginning phases that you shouldn't worry about it, right? Like, if you don't have many customers, if you don't have that much revenue, what good is it to save up $400 for one polisher when you could go with a more affordable option and get the polisher and the pads and the compound and the polish and a few towels versus you're just saving up for one polisher? Okay, it's the same thing with me in photography and the skills. Like, if any of you guys are into photography, right? Let's say I wanted to get like a Sony 70 to 200 millimeter lens, right? 2.8, I believe. All right, that's gonna cost like $2,600, right? $2,600 for one piece of lens. Or I can go with a Tamron 70 to 180 millimeter 2.8, which is like $1,200. So it's more than half. It's less than twice the cost of the Sony. It's about the same lens, maybe not the same quality, maybe not the same features, but I get the job done. And I'm able to spend what would have been $2,600 for one lens. I can buy two lenses and a few accessories with the more affordable option. So it's the same thing with you. Don't just say, oh, well, that person's using, XYZ. So, I want to be seen as the best. I want to get those results. So let me do that. It doesn't work that way. If you give a person that's well skilled with detailing and they're confident in their skills, give them the Rupes, give them the Grits, give them the Mac Shine, give them the whatever the brand I can think of, and they'll get the job done. They will get the job done. Granted, yes, curves, this, and or maybe in this scenario, this works better than that. Yes, I'll give you that. But overall, like, can they get the job done? Absolutely, yes. No problem whatsoever. So next point here is what is this one? I'm on number 3. Yeah. So you can have the best of everything and still not make money. And I made a podcast episode, the last one I believe, where even if you have all the things that you need, right? Let's say it's even the best tools and products, right? The best of the best brands, the most expensive ones. That doesn't mean you're going to be any more successful. Okay, there's no correlation between you having more tools and products or better tools and products and how successful you're going to be. There is no correlation, right? Someone that had a $10,000 budget and was able to purchase the higher end tools and products will not be any more successful. Let me actually put my phone on silent. Will not be any more successful than the person that has to start off with the more affordable options, right? Person A got the Rupes, the Grits, the Adams. Person B got the Mac Shine, the whatever, you know the point I'm trying to make here. I can't think every single brand off the top of my head, but you get the point where if you have more money to start off with and you're able to purchase more better tools and products, that doesn't mean you're going to be any more successful than the person that purchased the more affordable options. So that means the person that's purchased the most affordable options can be way more successful than the person that has all the nice fancy tools and products, right? So don't get stuck in your head of like, well, I really want to be successful and the pros are using these. It doesn't matter what they're using, right? It's all a process, right? You have to, like, I always say this, right? Progress over perfection. Like, everything is a stepping stone. Everything is just a staircase. You might want the Rupes, right? Which is, like, let's just say, I don't know, 400. What you can afford right now is 150. Okay, purchase that one for 150. use it, actually get customers for polishing or whatever the case may be, make your money back on that, save up, sell off that polisher, acquire a better one, a $250 one. Put that into use and get your money back, make money, save, and then purchase the next one. So I see everything as a milestone, as a stepping stone. I never purchase one product and I'm like, this is the last one I'm ever going to use. This is the best one, right? Eventually you get to that point, but I never looked at it of like, the next purchase I make has to be the best one and it's going to last me forever. No, there are stepping stones to it. Look at it like that. Like what I purchase right now, I'll use it, make money, and then I'll purchase another one. I'll use it, make money, and I'll purchase another one. I know there's the mindset of like, I buy nice so I don't buy twice. I don't buy into that at all. Like not in no way would I recommend you say, hey, you know what? Well, that polisher might not last you as long. It might not be as good. So just spend 3x the amount on a better polisher. It's going to last you longer. You're going to get better results. No, not at all. What you have to focus on is when you purchase a tool product, how quickly can you make your money back on that thing you just purchased, right? If you purchase a $400 polisher and you have no customers, no paint correction customers, hardly any revenue, how long is it going to take you to break even on that purchase, right? So don't look at it in terms of like, I really want to, make sure I get a high quality one that's going to last. No, what you need to look at is how fast can I get my money back on this, right? How quickly can I start making money with this tool and product where I'm back in the positive, not just trying to break even? So yes, a better tool product is like, it's cool to have, but I would not recommend you say, I really want to save up for that better tool product because it's going to last longer, because it's actually made of quality. No, not at all. What you have to focus on is, hey, once you buy this tool and product, how quickly can you make your money back on it, right? How quickly can you put it into service to where it's actually making you money in your business? So don't be like, I really want the, Rupes. It doesn't matter about what you want, right? What can you use right now to make you money? Right? Whether that's a $10 product, $100 product, $500 product, it does not matter. You have to focus on how can I put this into my business and actually start using it to make money. And again, you can always just keep on upgrading as you go. I personally am not a fan at all of the buy nice so you don't buy twice. It's as a business, like I will apply that more to personal items, right? That is just like for lens, for whatever the case may be, like for personal things, I'll probably apply that mindset better for personal things versus a business. Because a business, you have to look at ROI, return on investment. You have to look at, hey, like, is this going to affect my cash flow? Is this going to affect whatever? Like you have to be able to make money off that item. And if you barely have any customers, you barely are making any money, what good is it for you to have a high-end tool or product if you're not really even using it all that much? So keep that in mind when you're purchasing tools and products. Okay, so number 3, as far as the last point on of the 3 is, and hopefully this doesn't rough up some feathers. Let me take a sip of water. I just spilled water all over my shorts. Cool. If you're watching this on YouTube, you probably saw that. If you're just listening to this podcast, go back to the YouTube video and watch that part. Actually, no. I don't even know if you caught that on camera, so I don't know. Okay, so third one is don't blame your lack of success on anything other than yourself. Man, let me tell you. You know how many comments and emails I get and DMs I get of like, hey, like my market is just, I just can't raise my prices. Yeah, my market, it just, there's not enough people. Oh, my market, well, there's just too much competition. Well, it's just, I wish I could do that, but there's just too many this and that. And it's all these external factors that you're looking at, like why you're not successful or like why you can't do this one thing that you want to do or why you can't raise your rates. It's all because like something else other than myself, right? Like it is out of my control. It is out of my reach. It is something that I have no control over and I am just a victim to the situation that I'm in. Now, I get those a lot and it's very alarming because like you chose to be a business owner, right? An entrepreneur. You want to go on this route. And already by the way you speak, I can see that you are clearly in a victim type mode of like, oh, well, this happened to me, which is why I'm not successful. You can't think that way. So let me see what I wrote down here. So I wrote down, growth is deliberate. It won't happen for any other reason. So if you do have a problem, if you are in a situation that's not in your favor, okay, well, guess what? You are the business owner. You are the entrepreneur, quote unquote. So you have to come up with a solution to that problem. Right, whatever it may be, and I don't know what the problem is going to be, right? I don't know what you're going through. Every single person watching and listening to this podcast is going to be in a different circumstance. So I'm not going to be able to be like, oh, well, what would you do with this? What would you do with that? base level thing that I think to myself is like, whatever problem there is, there's a solution to it. Nothing more than that. Whatever problem arises, there's going to be a solution to it. So you can only get more customers and make more money if you choose to do that. So I went on IG Live a few days ago, and I think I was reading YouTube comments, and people were saying like why they can't charge more in their market, right? It's like, I wish I could charge those rates. I wish that I could, make more money, whatever. And let's just say, right, this is not true, but let's just say you generally cannot raise your rates in your area, right? Let's just say you legitimately cannot raise your rate. Like the market just cannot pay $1 more over what you're currently charging. All right. If that is true, which is not, if that's true, then what else will you do to be more successful, to make more money, right? Like I get the comments of like, oh, I just can't charge more. Okay, then what else are you going to do to be able to run a successful business in your area? Are you just saying like, yeah, you're just stuck in that situation, right? Like what else is there to do that you can do, that you have control over if you really can't charge more for your services? Can you get more customers at the same rate? Can you get more customers and charge them the same price but make more money because you have more volume? Can you charge the same rate but just finish faster, thus making more per hour? Right? So like, don't fall into this mindset of like, oh, well, I can't charge more. It's like, does the conversation stop right there? Like, is there nothing else after that you can say that will change the outcome of what you currently have? Right? So if you want more customers, if you want to make more money, if you want to have a more successful business, it is a deliberate choice that you make, saying whatever situation I'm in, I'll figure it out, right? Because like, it is astonishing to see that like, you just hear the excuse like, I just can't charge more. It's like, bro, what else do you want to do? Like, okay, you can't charge more, which is a lie, but okay, you can't charge more. What's the next step? And following along on that part is that the odds of you not being able to raise your rates is false, okay? You're telling me that there's no one else in your area that offers the same services that charges more than what you're charging, right? If you really think that you can't charge more for your services, you can honestly say without a shadow of a doubt that there's no other detailer in your area that offers the same results that's charging more than you. 10 out of 10 times, there's someone else that's charging more than you. There's someone else that's flooded with work, charging whatever they want, and you're here complaining and crying and whining that you can't charge more. Okay, so it's like, it just helps to give you a perspective, right? Like, I'm in Houston, right? There are plenty of detailers in Houston within like 15, 20 miles of me that are struggling to keep the doors open, that can't find customers, that just wish that, that they can get more customers, that they can charge more rates, right? Yet over here with us, we're doing fine. We're booked out 2 weeks in advance. We get calls every single day. We get emails every single day. But to that person that's struggling over there, they're thinking, oh man, it's the market. It's the competition. I just can't raise my rates. But why is that? I'm doing fine. What's wrong with you? Like, your problems are your problems. My problems are my problems. We have the same, we're in the same market. We offer the same services. So why is it that, I have a completely different outcome than what you have, right? So just think about that when you start making excuses, because it's not like I'm trying to, knock on anyone, but it's like, you are the business owner, right? You are the one making all these decisions. If you don't look at yourself internally to be like, hey, yeah, I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or maybe I can do something else, whatever the case may be. But if you're not looking at yourself, then when would you ever really grow as a person and as a business? Because like, it's always something else that's affecting you, right? So whatever else that may be factoring in, you're the one that has to come up with a solution. So I think that was it right there. Wow, it was a pretty long podcast, I believe. Yeah. So, okay, we'll actually end the podcast right here. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the description box down below for the guide to the ultimate guide to start your detailing business. The Instagram links, everything will be down below. If you're on the podcast, you can go to my website, you can go to YouTube, you can go to Instagram, and to get all those links that I just mentioned right here. Other than that, hopefully you took something away. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment down below and let me know if you have any comments, questions, concerns. And if you're just listening to this on your phone or wherever, then I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Bye-bye.